All right, and so the next one is CL20 here. And this, here we're going to view some stack frames. So you're going to see a little bit more about how in a debugger you can see the use of the stack pointer and base pointer. So we've already installed the necessary code here, and we're going to have a stack program that should already be available here. So if I do ls, I do have stack.c, so I should be able to cat it. All right, and so here it is. Pretty big, and it gains in a few libraries. It defines short name, and add salutation and main is here. So it's going to read your name, and then it's going to print various versions of your name calling subroutines. All right. Now this, by the way, is inline assembly code, which C supports. And the point here is I just want to print out the value of the stack pointer and the base pointer so we can see what's going on here. So rather than reading the code, it's easier to see what this does when we run it. So the first thing I have to do is compile it. Now I'm going to compile it as 32-bit code, and I'm going to include symbols so I can read source code and debug at a source code level instead of an assembly code level. That's what -G does. And again, I'm going to use a simple kind of stack, an old-fashioned simple kind of stack to make it easier to interpret, and put the output in a file called stack with no extension. So I compile it this way, and now if I do ls-l, there's now something called stack, which is bigger, and if I use file to see what I've created here, I've created 32-bit Linux code. That's what we wanted. So now we can run the program, right, and give it a short name like Fred. And now here's what it shows you. In the main function, here's the stack frame. It goes from D50 to BC8, B50 to BC8. And that's the size of the stack frame, and the name is stored in between there at B54. So this is the local variable called name in main. When I go to add salutation, I have another stack frame which is in lower memory from B00 to B38, its own memory region, and the name here is stored at B0A inside that local area. And when I call short name, I have another stack frame which is at lower memory than either of those, going from AC0 to AE8, and the name here is stored at ACE. So that's, hopefully you see the structure. You have these three stack frames, and local variables in each stack frame under normal conditions are right in the stack frame, and when you return from this function, it will stop using that stack frame and it will just be residual data. And later stack frames will just right on top of it. So that's the structure. And now you can observe a buffer overflow. We'll give it a long name. This is the name of the King of England. The current king, I think. All right, and so if you give it that name, now it's going to, in main, it's going to work. But when it goes to add salutation, then it's going to crash. And that's when it, and not when it runs it, but when it tries to return from that function, it's going to crash. So let's try it with this name, which is shorter. And now it makes it through the add salutation, but it crashes in short name. So this is a real important issue when you're doing fuzzing to find vulnerabilities in programs. Once you find a crash, all of your inputs have to stay the same length, because a different length input could crash at a different point. So if you want to do exploit development, which I'm teaching a class in now, you have to always put in the same size input, or you'll drive yourself mad by hitting different weak spots in the code. So now we can debug the code with gdb -q stack, and then run it and put in Fred. All right, and it runs all the way through, exits normally with the usual output, which makes sense for a small variable like that. So now we can list, we can see the source code. If I list from 42 to 59, then I'll see this main function, see the C course code for the main function. And so it inputs the name from the user, then it goes down here, and here's where it calls add salutation. So I want to put a break before that line so I can examine the memory at this point. So I put a break at 58. You only need to type the first couple of letters of any command, but a tab will complete it. So I put a break at 58, I run, and now I put in something. I want to be able to spot it in memory, so the traditional thing you put in is A, just because it's going to be a bunch of 41s. If I put in something like Fred, it'll be a little harder to read. All right, so I put that in. Now I hit the breakpoint. It's about to call this routine. I can now do info registers and see the stack. The stack goes from 450 to 4C8. So I can examine the stack. Yep. So that's X and then some number, however much I want to look at. I'll look at 32 hexadecimal words. Any number would do here, but if it's too small, you won't see the whole thing. And then I want to look starting at ESP. And a dollars means a register value. So this ESP value here, 450 is the start of the stack frame. It ends at 4C8. So here's 4C. This is the 32-bit word starting at 4C0, 4C4, and 4C8. So this is the current stack frame, that highlighted region. And as you can see, here's the AAA I put in there. So it fits in the stack frame, and it's not going to crash the program until I hit the return pointer way down here. That's why it takes a long name to crash it. There's a bunch of room available here. All right. Now we can go to add salutation. So let's list this, list 22 to 40. And that shows me the add salutation function, which I think is the one main called. Let's go back and take a look at the main source code. Yeah, the main source code called this function called add salutation. So now I'm looking at the source code of add salutation. And so here, it's going to print some stuff out and then call short name. And again, I want to break before it enters the next function. So I'll put a break, another break at 38. All right, now I can run. I start the program over from the beginning. Yes, and give it A. And I'm going to have to continue. I forgot to do the delete. Let me just start over and do it right. I'm going to do a delete. Delete will delete the old breakpoint. I'll delete all breakpoints. Okay, yes. All right, and then break 38. Okay, so now I'm not going to break in main anymore. I'm going to zip through main and break in this subroutine. Now I can run and put in, start from the beginning, A. Okay, now it's hit the breakpoint inside this function, add salutation, and now I can info registers again, and see now I'm going from 400 to 438, so I can do X16X will do this time. I have a smaller stack frame, ESP. I know the end of it is at 438, so here's 430, 434, and 438. So that is the stack frame. And again, here's my 41, 41, 41, 41. That's the A's I put in. And if I put in something long enough to hit this, the program will crash. All right. And now I can view the last one, list 520. That's the remaining function. And that's called the short name function. And so if I put a break at 19 before it returns, I'll be in there. So I delete all the old breakpoints and break at 19 and run and put in a yes to run and A again. Now I'm in short name, and now if I do info registers, it goes from 3C0 to 3E8, so I can view this one with probably 12, yeah. The end of the stack frame is 3E8, so that is here. That's the stack frame. This is the smallest stack frame. That's why a short name will crash here, an intermediate name will crash in a function above it, and so on. I just arranged it that way so you can see various things, and here's the return pointer from there. So that's the game, and there's just a flag defined to show that you've done all that. But that's practicing what we're going to do a lot of, going in the debugger and examining at the binary level how the program runs, although here we're using the C source code, so you don't have to read the assembly code. We'll do that later, but you start by reading a high-level language to get used to the debugger. All right, and there are no new questions, so I'm going to stop this recording.